Hey there, cats and kittens. My name is Alonda Carter, and I am the Recovering Hunbot. I create anti-MLM, that's anti-multi-level marketing videos, and I also dip my toes from time to time into true crime. As a matter of fact, I have something coming up that's related to multi-level marketing, but there's crime associated with it, but there's this cast of colorful characters, and it's taking me a lot of time just to do the research on the first video, but I hope it's going to be something that you enjoy. But today's video, we are going to look at another one of these top Beachbody coaches and at the training she provides. Now, if you don't know, I am a professional instructional designer. That means I design and develop training. Been doing it for a long time. So when I see these training videos, I just kind of, shiver, so to speak. I just get shook because it's like, this isn't training and this is all more mindset type stuff. Now, you may or may not know that I've been in pain now for a little bit over a week. It's been with my left leg. It started at the ankle. It's gone up. I've been to the doctor twice. I've had an ultrasound, had a CV. They've looked for a clot. The CV, it was upper body stuff. Haven't found anything yet. I'm on antibiotics. I'm on steroids, and I'm still in pain. And so if over the weekend I don't get any better, it's like call the doctor again, and I just don't know what's going to go on, but I want to get this video out to you. So what I'm going to do, because there's stuff that, if I would film this traditionally, I'd want to kind of like get stuff in my head and not like be reading it to you. But quite frankly, I am so flippin' uncomfortable. I'm going, you know what? I'm just going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to read to you the background that I have for this particular person, whose name shall go unmentioned, because, it's not really about who the person is. It's more the message that they're sending. And like I said, I'm doing research into something that I'm hoping that you're going to really like. And as I'm researching it, it's like, is someone like this truly a scammer, or did I dive into something that is so much different than this? And is this person on the path to becoming a full-blown scammer? I mean, these are just questions I ask myself as I continue to do this research, because I think I kind of get it twisted in my head, and it's real easy to, in my opinion, to just anybody involved in MLM and just, kind of like blanket statement. And also, it's one of those words that people like to see and it gets attention and all of that. But I really am looking at it in a much different light now, because stuff that's going on, especially in these American MLMs, there's some janky stuff, but I'm getting involved. Well, not me like as in joining, but my research is taking me outside of the US into, the broader world of multi-level marketing. And it's so much scummier than what you would think, scummier than anything that I've shared with you before. But that's for another day. So right now, let me put on my glasses, and we're just going to kind of go over this person's background, okay? She earned her undergrad in nursing and psychology and also received her RN and MSN. This person worked in nursing for 15 years. She claims that when she was a nurse, she was broke and lived paycheck to paycheck because of student loan debt. After joining Beachbody in 9 months, she was able to quit her nursing job and focus on preventative care as a Beachbody coach. She became a 6-figure earner and reached the rank of 5-star diamond in her first year. By year 2, she was the highest rank in Beachbody, which is 15-star diamond. Now, within a few months of reaching a 5-star diamond, let me tell you, that's unusual. In 2 years, 15-star, that's unusual, very atypical, and I think there's a reason for it. Continuing on, she has been an elite coach 7 times, and she's also in the Millionaire Club. The Millionaire Club means that you have earned at least $1 million as a Beachbody coach. It doesn't mean that you're earning $1 million every single year. You could be, but you have at least reached that $1 million threshold. As a national NPC Bikini Competitor, it appears as if this led her to be in the video workouts of Beachbody super trainer Shaun T. It was for the program called Insanity. Also, she was a model in the marketing materials for the program. She's a certified athletics and fitness of America Association instructor, certified spin instructor, certified insanity instructor, certified to teach yoga. She also has attended Tony Robbins Mastery University as a student, Gabrielle Bernstein Spirit Junkie Mastery Life Coaching Certification. I don't know if you have ever followed Gabby Bernstein. When I went into the law of attraction rabbit hole, Gabby Bernstein is one of the people that I would listen to. And the thing is that, there's some stuff that it feels good and it sounds good. But when you get involved in multi-level marketing, it's just all the law of attraction stuff. It's basically the same, and people are just saying it slightly different, but it's the same message. She's also a Miracle Morning advocate. I read the Miracle Morning, and let me tell you, I was not impressed. I already had my own routine going on, and all of these things to me, when I see them now, it was like red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. It's like she was involved in a lot of things, in my opinion, that you'd become open to multi-level marketing and, all the mindset mumbo jumbo that goes along with that. If you've done if you've followed Tony Robbins, if you've taken Gabby Bernstein's Spirit Junkie, if you're into the, Miracle Morning, all of that is very, very much in line with multi-level marketing and the personal development that happens within Beachbody. She refers to herself as a motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and spiritual life conscious business leader. What all that means, I'm not exactly sure, but to me, it just screams law of attraction kind of stuff. What do you think? So let me ask you this. Is there anything in her background that might be a teeny bit on the helpful side? Do you think? Anything at all kind of like, stands out to you? To me, she's not an ordinary girl. She's not like you and me, as she would want you to believe. Come on, the whole bikini competition type thing. Don't you think there was some sort of a fan base? And if she was in the Insanity program, if she was doing marketing materials from that, don't you think she would have gotten some recognition? So is it really surprising that she would be able to, rise up in ranks in such a short time? I mean, I'm not surprised, but these are the things that they want to just like brush aside as if, I didn't know anything myself. I didn't know how to do social media. I'm just like you, girl. And in all honesty, I mean, how is any of that like you and like me? I mean, I don't see it. I don't see the correlation there. Do you? Now, this is what I started thinking when I found out all about the, bikini competition bodybuilding type thing. I'm like, you know what? And I don't know what made me think of this. I think it was some little teeny bopper movie that I've watched, and I couldn't even tell you which one it is, but I think it was like about a beauty pageant or something. It's like, do you think that MLMs or maybe Beachbody has kind of like a talent scout? Someone that would go to different events. I mean, not right now during #COVID, but go to different events to look for people that could possibly join. Could they offer them something that, the offer that you just can't refuse sort of a thing, and get them to join? Because here's my thought is that we know there's people at the top, but they have to have new blood. They have to have new people coming in who are able to say, whoa, look, I'm successful and you can be too. I did this in this time and blah, 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 blah. You following me on that? They've got to show the new success stories. It can't always be the rinse and repeat of the old success stories. So is it possible that is going on, that people are being targeted because there's talent scouts looking to recruit people to bring them in to the MLM? And then I found over on LinkedIn, just randomly, I found someone who's the executive director of talent acquisition. Now, talent acquisition to me, usually it is a very HR thing, but when I thought about it, when it fits with Beachbody, it's like, but could it be what I'm talking about? Could there be some kind of system in place that they do, like have a plan to go out and find new people to bring them into the fold? Now, I don't know if you were around my channel back when it first started, and I did a video on the Sheffield Group. The Sheffield Group is a company that will help you create your very own multi-level marketing company. And within that, there is a module about recruiting, which I'm not going to really rehash right now, but I'm kind of wondering if that module has something like this in there about how you have to always have those, feelers out and stuff. And my bra is falling down. That you just have to kind of, keep finding new people. And do they give them tools to do that and in ways to do that depending on the product and stuff that you're, shilling in the, MLM. It's just, these are just random thoughts that I'm having. And I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are about that, because I have nothing to back up what I'm just thinking. I'm literally just thinking out loud going, I wonder if, The contents of this video is based on my experience, research, and opinions. Please do not send any hate to anyone who is involved in the multi-level marketing industry or with Beachbody specifically. And if you know who this person is, don't send her hate either. Also, make sure you do your own research. I think that is very, very, very important. And if you find out anything possible about this kind of, kind of having a larger recruiting kind of concept of, talent scouts out there trying to find people to bring in to have those new successes, let me know about that, because this is just something that I've been kind of mulling over. And I'm like, maybe I'm onto something, but I don't really have any proof. But boy, it'd be interesting if I ever did get any proof, because I think that would really shine a light on how truly underhanded these companies are, Also, please be kind to each other and to me in the comment section. The world is a crazy place, and whether we're going through COVID or not, it's still a good idea to be kind to each other. Those people who I really do consider true scammers, yeah, I got a big time beef with what they're doing. But overall, those stay-at-home moms that join, like I wasn't a stay-at-home mom, but I was just, a married woman. Just, I did it with the best intentions. And I think people are led to join it thinking, oh, this is it. And there are those people, like the people that I'm investigating, that do have these like dark ulterior motives. But I don't know if all of these people that we have said scammer, if they're necessarily truly a scammer. Do I think they can be on the path to it? Yeah, I do. I do think multi-level marketing can kind of twist you up so that you become someone else. But to the level of some of the stuff that I have been finding, they're not in the same ballpark. I mean, not at all. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and check out what this person is saying, and I will give you my 2 cents about all of it. Sound good?
And mute your lines, because I don't want to be that person. That'd be so fab. All right, so guys, my name is, first of all, welcome all of you guys that are here. I'm so excited. I feel so honored to be able to share with you guys, to be a part of this mastermind. So incredible. I believe collaboration over competition, 100%. I've been a Beachbody coach now for 7.5 years. And before I became a coach, I was a registered nurse. So that's why we're gonna get a little bit nerdy and scientific with you guys today, because I think it's so cool to talk about mindset, but I wanna talk a little bit about why mindset is so important and how our minds work. So we're gonna talk a little bit about mindset. We're gonna talk a little bit about quantum physics today.
Whoa, okay, this whole quantum physics thing, this reminds me of something. Oh, by the way, I'm still doing the vintage hair and I have a snood on, and I was going to do braids again, but this is what we ended up with. So, that's the story of the hair. Anyway, okay, back when I was a Beachbody coach, someone who I followed, and I took a class from her, these courses, it's going to help you. And it was about this quantum physics type thing to really get you into the person that you're going to be, in the future, that future self, stepping into becoming that person now as opposed to then. I mean, it's like, is this really quantum physics, or is this just really more mindset mumbo jumbo? And what bothers me about this is someone who's a registered nurse who has studied science, and it's all caught up in the whole mindset stuff. Now, I'm not saying having a good mindset isn't a bad thing, but it's the amount of focus that is placed on mindset when it comes to multi-level marketing. I really think it starts to become extremely, extremely unhealthy and toxic. And I think that it takes a toll on your mental health. I mean, my opinion is not like I have anything to back that up on, but from my experience, all the people I've talked to, and it just really seems like that's a really big possibility.
We are no longer in control of our conscious minds. Our body is now what is in control, okay? So, get with me. I see a lot of women on here, all right? So, my mamas, picture yourself driving the minivan, and if you're not a mom, you guys can totally picture my story, right? Mom driving in the car, Somehow mom is able to navigate the traffic, right? She's also able to break up the arguments behind her, sip on her cup of coffee, bend down, pick the bottle up off the floor, and yet still make it to the right destination all at the same time, right? Why is this happening? This happens because of the fact that mom is running on autopilot, okay? In fact, when the body has memorized a thought or an action or a feeling, this is really what becomes ingrained in our minds, okay? We are living in a state of memory within our actual selves, okay? So if 95% of who we are by the age of 35 is a set of involuntary programming, that means we, friends, are walking around 95% of our days in an unconscious state. Is that wild or not? Like, is that just like blow your mind away?
Okay, we're walking around in an unconscious state. Now, there's nothing that she's sharing that's showing me scientific evidence of this. So to me, it's like, yeah, I mean, here's the thing, in my opinion, all right? We as human beings, we have to take mental shortcuts. For instance, when I take the dogs outside for a walk, I have to be able to navigate and be like car, tree, squirrel, door, and know that automatically. I'm not going to sit there if I was so deliberate with like, there is a squirrel 2 feet away from me and thinking about it. We have to be able to process stuff quickly or we wouldn't be able to move through our days. It's kind of, helps us out so that we're not just like stuck. We have to be able to identify things. That's how it is. That's how all like living creatures are. That's how we get through. Gotta have these shortcuts. You gotta know some stuff.
So if we want to expand and we want to create a new life, then we really have to create a new personality, okay? And to be able to do this, we need to observe and disconnect from who we are to bring about a new level of awareness.
Okay, just hearing that earlier, what I was talking about, how you become someone else. To me, when I hear that, that's exactly what it is. It's like, get rid of your old personality. We don't want that. You have to now develop a new personality because, you already have all of these horrible things programmed in your mind. So we got to change all that. We got to change you. And I also get that message of, you're not good enough who you are. I mean, are you picking that up or is that on me? I don't know.
So let's think about the brain as a computer. You have your software and you have your hardware. Your hardware is the physical functioning and the resurfacing, okay? The constant programming, this is our software. These are the things that we repeat daily in our lives, okay? These are the different occurrences that really shape our habits of who we are. Most of us have had some kind of trauma in our lives that live with the scar that we have that results in this feeling every single day. And so for us to be able to create new and to bring new things into our lives, it's really important that we start to clean out this part of our brain structure so that we can have more healing, okay? Of course, you guys know you guys are health and fitness coaches. So you guys know that eating healthy, movement, brain nutrients, things like that are really critical for our brain working the way that we need it to work. But our moment-to-moment thoughts either exert a very powerful healing effect on our brains or they can work in our detriment. The same is true for any past experiences that we have. They consistently wire the brain. So every day we get to choose what kinds of thoughts, what kinds of feelings, and what kinds of emotions we're bringing into our lives.
You get to choose your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Well, okay, I think it's more like they want you to stop certain thoughts so that you don't have certain thoughts, anything negative, Can't think about anything negative. No. I gotta put on that happy face and those positive vibes, you know, you want to be in alignment. I really think it's more about thought stopping than it is about, you know, you're creating these thoughts. It's really, this is making me very uncomfortable. And, you know, I know so much what she's going to say, and this bothers me so much. It's going to be pseudoscience, you know? And again, I go back to, you studied science and you're not seeing this. But I think that highlights that anyone can be susceptible to start believing in this type of stuff. I mean, raise hand, I was. Because honestly, when I was doing it, it felt good. It was comforting. And sometimes in our life, we need to have comfort, especially when we're going through something rough. And that's why I think getting involved in multi-level marketing can be so dangerous, because when you're vulnerable and you start letting this in and you start changing yourself, I think you can set yourself up for something even more dangerous and more sinister. And I'm going back in my mind to that research that I'm doing and thinking about the people that are getting involved in these other schemes, because they're all very, very similar. There's just shades of gray, shades of darkness that's associated with it. And really, again, I'm just going to go back to all of these people we've seen so far are just complete lightweights in comparison to what I've been finding. Okay, I'm going to try to shut up about that, but I'm really excited about it and nervous and scared, and it's horrifying at the same time. But let's go back to see what she has to say.
And so until you can break free and really start to see yourself in this new reality, it's really hard for us to change. It's always going to be haphazard, and it's always going to be transitory. We really have to overhaul our complete thinking process to endure a different kind of outcome. And as you guys know, most humans bucket change, right? How many times do you have to convince somebody that they have to change, right? It isn't until most times that somebody has a traumatic event that occurs in their life that they actually make the changes.
Well, I will agree with her, because working in training and development, a lot of times things that I have developed, there's change. And yeah, we as human beings, we're comfortable in what we already do. So I get that. I do agree with that. But what I don't agree with is, you know, with multi-level marketing, of changing your personality, changing fundamentally who you are. And, you know, a lot of this, what I keep thinking about, if you've been through trauma, and most people have, but depending on what it is, shouldn't you be seeking mental help? You know, like a mental health professional? I mean, is mindset really going to heal you from that? I really feel like this starts crossing over into some dangerous lines, with kind of blurring with it being a mental health professional when you're not. Maybe I'm just, you know, paranoid or something, or seeing it in a weird way, but that's kind of what's, you know, going on in my head. What's going on in yours?
And so my message to you guys today is, why wait? Why wait to hit rock bottom to change your life when you can change your life today? You can start examining the thoughts and the emotions and the things that come into your life and have an introspective observance on them, so that you can start to be the creator of your destiny.
Now, I can't remember the school of psychology that this is a piece from. So if you are, you know, someone who has studied psychology, maybe you will know, but it's kind of taking that, oh, I wish I could remember what it's called. And this goes with like the affirmations and everything. Now, there's someone that I did follow, and she had studied psychology, Amanda Francis, who is now this, like, you know, a manifestation kind of a coach, a life coach, or whatever. And it's some of this same type of messaging. And I do think that there is something good about being able to journal out some things, but I don't think you can do it all on your own. I mean, if you've really gone through something horrible, you need a professional. And I don't think a Beachbody coach is a qualified professional. And I don't think listening to people who are in law of attraction and reading personal development is going to cut it. And that's something that does worry me, is that people may forego seeking help from mental health professionals because of personal development. What are your thoughts? I mean, again, maybe I'm getting too deep in it, but these are just things I'm thinking out loud and sharing with you.
Now, like clay, the infinite possibilities are shaped by our minds. So you guys got to hang with me here, right? All matter is created by energy. Matter and mind are entangled. Our mind has effects on energy because our consciousness is energy, and energy has consciousness. So at a basic level, we as humans are mindful matter, okay? So what we communicate with within our environment is what we are going to get back, is what we are going to receive from the field around us, all right? So your thoughts are energy. And as you guys know, electrical impulses are sent out from the brain, all right? They're collected, or you guys can monitor them using EEGs, all right? And this is the primary way that we communicate with our surroundings. We communicate with our heart center, and we communicate with our brain. These are the electrical impulses that communicate with the field around us, all right? So I find it really useful to think as thoughts as the electrical charge and feelings as a magnetic charge. The thoughts that we think will send out an electrical charge into the field, and the feelings magnetically draw these things back to us. Together, how we think and how we feel creates our state of being, okay? So this should really prompt us to ask ourselves, what am I broadcasting out on an hourly basis? Knowing that our feelings and our thoughts do create our reality, it's really important for us to be paying attention to the thoughts and to our feelings that go through our minds, okay? When we have any kind of negative emotions, our heart becomes erratic.
Okay. I can get behind to a degree about this whole thoughts, feeling type thing. For instance, right now, my stepson, my youngest stepson, is having some struggles and has been in a real negative space. And my husband told me today that he's going to create a playlist of like uplifting songs, which I think is a good thing. And I do think that that could be helpful for, my stepson and everything. But this whole focusing on like, what am I thinking? Am I putting out anything negative? Can I have happy thoughts? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I do think sometimes when we get into a space like where my stepson is, where everything just is very, very negative, you do have to kind of find a way to, manage that in some way, turn that frown upside down sort of a thing. Because I know like with him right now, he's going through some stuff where he thinks, oh, what he has to do for school is stupid. He doesn't understand this, blah, 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 blah. But you and I know that as adults, there's stuff that we have to do that we are like, well, I don't know if I can get behind that. But you just got to do it, I mean, you can't just like go, well, I'm not going to do that because it just doesn't sound like a lot of fun. You got to sit down and pay your bills. I mean, that's just kind of how the world works. And I just feel like all of this stuff that they start talking about, getting your thoughts in a good spot and sending out good vibrations is a distraction from the fact that you are now focusing so much on things that is it really going to have this result that what they're saying? Because of what I'm trying to understand, and I'm seeing this more and more as I start, like I said, as I do this, more global research into multi-level marketing companies that are all talking about the same exact crap. How is all of that really going to change? To me, it's a distraction. It's a distraction from the fact that you are now in something where you keep paying money to be a part of, and the only real way that you can rise is to recruit others. I mean, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just going too much into it, but You know, I mean, like where I work, where you work, who's sitting around talking about getting your mind right and all of this? You know, I'm not saying that, you know, it's not a good idea to have a positive viewpoint, and just like what I'm trying to do, like, you know, with my stepson, with what my husband's doing too, because I'm going to have meetings with him and there's things that we're going to go over. It's like, yeah, because he doesn't live real close by, so I'm going to be doing some Zoom meetings and stuff. There are some things that you can do so that you're just not, you know, a grumpy monkey all the time. I mean, who wants to be, you know, in their sour tower? I mean, it's not much fun to, you know, drive your bitter bus to your sour tower and just, you know, wallow in that. That's just not good. So you have to find a way to be able to kind of get yourself out of it. But at the same time, I think you also should be able to embrace the fact when you're having a crummy day, or like, you know, you're having some not so great thoughts because there's things that have happened. It's like, okay to be like, yeah, you know, this is kind of sucking. It doesn't mean that you're going to be in that forever and wallow in it, but you should be able to acknowledge it. And I always feel like with all this stuff, it's like you're not even supposed to acknowledge it, because somehow that's going to, you know, screw you up in some way. And now you're not going to have any success because, oh my gosh, there was something negative in your head.
Disorganized. When people have positive emotions, our heart has a very coherent pattern, okay? So I want to share with you guys really quickly this little test that was done, and I thought that it was just really cool, because how many of you guys do a ton of positive reading every day, or maybe do your 10 minutes of personal development like a good Beachbody coach is supposed to, but you're not seeing the changes that you want to see in your life? Is there anybody out there like that? Powers of power thinking, but you're not seeing the changes in your life? Put your hands up. Okay, and the reason why is because based on this study, you guys, you can't just have a thought, you can't just have the emotion. To create change in our life, we have to have thought and we have to have emotion. And how they demonstrated this is they took a glass of water and they had people that were really, can you guys meet from you? They had people that were really in tune with this process. And the first group of people, they took a cup of deionized water and they spoke over that cup positive emotions and love. When they went and they looked at those DNA strands, there was no change in the DNA strands. The second group of individuals went and they set an intention, meaning they visualized, they sent an intention into the water. And again, there was no change in the DNA. Now, the third group, they set a vision with their intention, and they set feeling and emotion for 2 minutes over the water. And guess what happened? After 2 minutes, the DNA had unraveled 25%.
Now, I am familiar with this study, and I know it's also been debunked because it's pseudoscience, you know? There's that. Now, it's been a minute since I've read all of that, because I think I started reading into that shortly after I discovered that, you know, MLM is not what I thought it was. And I started going down the like, what is all of this? And that's why I started creating content about, I'm not down with multi-level marketing, I'm against it, sort of a thing. But all of these things, in my opinion, it sounds good on the surface. It's like, oh, wow, yes. But when you peel back that onion, it's kind of hollow.
From positive emotion and visualization. So feelings of thoughts and appreciation, feelings of love and emotion, they did change the DNA. So only when people have a heightened emotion and a clear objection can we really become in alignment with the things that we want to achieve, okay? A thought has to have an energizer to become a catalyst. The heart and the mind have to work together. Feelings and thoughts have to be unified. This is the state of being. When our hearts are in alignment with our brains, this is when we are in alignment. If 2 minutes of positive thought and emotion can unwind DNA, what does that say about our actual reality? Do you guys think it would be maybe beneficial to put like an alarm on your phone to see like how you're feeling, or to change up your state hourly?
Okay, hold up. this whole alarm thing on your phone, doesn't that seem like it's going to do something, again, more of like a behavioral type control and emotional control, going back to the bite model, of getting people more and more into this, gotta have the power of positive thinking, law of attraction, gotta be in alignment. I mean, this whole thing of, constantly chasing after having like these pure, perfect thoughts makes me uncomfortable. How does it make you feel?
Right? If we know 2 minutes of positivity and love and emotion change the DNA strand 25%, imagine what you could do in your own life if you were consistent with these things. So for us to experience change, we have to have a new income in our lives. We have to think, we have to feel, and we have to act a different way. We have to replace the things that no longer serve us, and we have to become somebody else. And to do this, we have to change the energy in our lives. You have to change your mind and your emotions, okay? So, quantum creating only happens when our thoughts and our feelings are in alignment. Okay, and I'm going to teach you guys some things that you guys can do to get in alignment, all right? But hold clear, focused thoughts on purpose, accompanied by emotional entanglement. That is the process of manifestation. So if you've ever wondered what manifestation is and think it's this like weird woo-woo thing that people really don't understand or put it out there, I just gave you guys what the scientific approach of manifestation is and how you can use it to start to bring forth these things into your life. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about my grandma. You guys might be able to relate. I got an old Italian grandma that came over on the boat, and they really didn't have any money at all. She was a very religious woman, so she prayed a lot, but she had a lot of hard things happen in her life. And so no matter how much she prayed, and no matter how much she wanted things to change in her life, she had these feelings from her past that would not allow her to manifest this new stuff into reality. All right? So if you really want to become wealthy or you really want to become any of these new things, then you have to get rid of any of these feelings of lack, any of these feelings of you're poor, and to really start to focus on how to bring in more abundance into your life. Thoughts are the language of the brain. Feelings are the language of the body. When your mind is in a position with the body, this is when we are in a flow, okay? So, to create something new, we have to change the way we think and we feel every day. We have to repeat the same thoughts and feelings every day to create the new people. Wait, come out from your people, Bible. I don't know what she's saying about Bible. She just screwed me up. Okay, so we must think and we must act and we must change out of a state of being, okay? So neuroscience has proven that to change our brains just by thinking different through a mental rehearsal, such as repeating imagery, the circuits in our brains will actually change, okay? So we can make our thoughts really change our brains by taking engage in some physical activity. To change our brains, there's 4 different things that have to happen. Number 1, you have to learn knowledge. So you have to make synaptic connections. Number 2, you have to receive hands-on instruction. So body involved in experience. 3, you have to pay attention. And number 4, you need repetition, okay? So now I'm gonna give you a couple of things that you can do to help put this into process.
You know, in all the training I've created, this has never been part of it. You know, maybe I have been doing a disservice for all this time. Maybe this is what my training's lacking. Maybe I need to propose this to the training department, or maybe they would tell me I was completely nuts and to get bent. you know. And is it me? But she seems to be moving around so much. It makes me nervous for some reason. I feel very jostled by all the constant moving. I don't know.
Number one, to create the new self, you have to stop being your old self. You have to have the power to observe your own thoughts and your own self. We can decide how we no longer want to be, think, act, and feel. And the ability to self-reflect allows us to be able to examine our thoughts and our minds and then be able to make a plan to produce a more enlightened outcome. Your attention is where you're going to place your energy. So pay close attention to your thoughts. Become aware, because the more attentive that you are, the more conscious you become. And the more conscious you become, ultimately, the more that you awaken from your unconsciousness.
All of that, to me, you got to become someone new. To me, that's a message. You're not good enough the way you are. Even so, she's talking about like, well, you got to get rid of that so that, you can have abundance. I feel like it's a really mixed message, because if you're having to strip away everything and become someone else, then you're not good enough as you are. I'm just not so sure about all this.
As a result, you're no longer just the thoughts, actions, or the emotions, and you continue to build on new neural pathways and not reaffirming the old. Okay? So the first thing you guys have to do is you have to reaffirm yourself. The first thing you have to do is you have to become somebody new. Okay? The second thing that you're going to do is I want you to think of the qualities of the person that you want to possess. Okay, so this ideal person, your higher self, what are those qualities? I want you to write down what those qualities are. Just by completing that assignment, your brain is going to start to look for different answers. Okay, I want you to reflect on what it feels like to be happy. I want you to reflect on what it feels like to bring joy. I want you to envision a new you. So we all know what happiness feels like. We all know what joy feels like. And we all know it's all up to us then to bring that knowledge into ourselves to create this new self. The third thing that I want you guys to do is to cultivate the vibration. All right. So number two is visualize. Number three, you're going to start to cultivate the vibration. Number one, so I guess 3A, what was a desired feeling? What smell evokes this feeling? What song or sounds can you use that evoke the feeling? What season does the feeling feel like? And you can even describe the perfect day to evoke what that feeling would be.
Okay, to me, in a way, this sounds like it's supposed to be process steps. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of like going back into my instructional design mode. And when I write process steps, it's definitely 1, 2, 3, 4, and it usually starts with, say like click, blah, 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 blah. And, I start with a verb, basically is what I'm saying, an action of some sort. But this, it's so nebulous. It's not like you can give discrete steps and have the same outcome for anyone doing them. And that's the part that is bothering me, because when I write instructions, whether you're doing them or I'm doing them or someone else is doing them, if you follow those instructions, we're all going to have the same results. Whereas this, it's just so ethereal and nebulous, and and it goes back like, if it's not working, you must not be in alignment, and you got to do it again. You got to keep on thinking, who is that person that you want to be? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What are their characteristics? All of this stuff. And I just keep getting that message, you're not good enough who you are, that somehow you're broken and you need to fix that. You need to be someone else, because you're just not good enough who you are.
The fourth thing is to start embodying the vibration. This is where you can start to use things as vision boards to start to pay attention, using those new neural pathways within your mind to bring that reality into your existence. You can start to journal some new things about your future self. I've got a few journal prompts here for you guys that are really good that I use that I'm going to share with you guys. So the first one is, what's the core feeling when I am searching for the achieved desire? Number two is, where else can I manifest that feeling right now to start vibrating at this higher frequency? Number three, how can I refocus my attention on this desire until it arrives? What actions would I take as if it was already accomplished? And number four, this is their journal prompt, is, if I am feeling doubt, where is there evidence in my favor to help shift my attitude?
Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with journal prompts. As a matter of fact, for my stepson, I was talking to my husband about this last night, about me coming up with some journal prompts for him, but not like this. I mean, that might be something that your child has done before in school, that they're keeping a journal and the teacher will write a prompt, and it's kind of like a little warm-up type thing usually. So for me, I'm thinking of it for my stepson as like a way for him to start his day and kind of like center himself and focus on what he's going to get done that day, because he's been kind of scattered. But this, to me, I hear this and it goes back to, I just keep going back to the same thing, that somehow you're broken, you're not good enough, and you need to fix that by thinking about all of these things and reframing everything and getting into alignment and being at a higher vibration. And all of this hooey is just, to me, it's such hooey, just a big old bucket of hooey.
Those are 4 journal prompts that I use quite frequently to try to switch my vibrations. The 5th thing that we're going to do is we're going to give appreciation. Deeply feel and give gratitude to all that is happening for us. Giving gratitude to the things in the present moment, it elevates the emotions and brings about a higher frequency. Also brings about a higher state of being, so you can feel as though the desired effect has already occurred.
Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with giving some gratitude. I think that we could all be a little bit more grateful for what we have. But what I do find interesting, because, they're always wanting you to be someone else, and they're flexing this luxury lifestyle. So it's like you're still not good enough because you don't have all of this. And that just feels so unreal and disconnected to me, because what's wrong with just having a simpler life? What's wrong with having a regular job? What's wrong with not being part of multi-level marketing? I mean, obviously we know there's nothing wrong with that, but the shame that's associated with all of that, and the way that it gets you to think somehow that only by becoming someone else are you going to find happiness, because obviously you're not happy where you're at. And, you need to get rid of all of that. It's not sitting well with me. And I mean, I'm in kind of a weird state right now because of the pain that I'm in. And I can remember, this was a few years ago when I was way into this stuff. And this person who I took a course from, Kat Rose, and it was the one about the whole quantum physics and all of that. And I was having an issue then with my back. And she's telling me to, I mean, the stuff that she said, it wasn't anything to like, well, you should go to a medical professional. And that was never mentioned. And at the time, because I wasn't working, it's like, we were paying a lot for my insurance. And for me to go anywhere, it was like, that was out of the question anyway. So I really was looking to alternative ways of dealing with what I was going through, because that's just how it was. But all of this, I mean, I know when I was doing all of that, I felt like I was chasing after, and it was a rat race, or what was that? Hamster wheel. It was that, because I would get up and I would write, and I had all these journal prompts, and I was working really, really hard on trying to somehow get into alignment so I could bring all this stuff to me. And you know what? Honestly, You know what happened for me? I let that crap go, and I just went back to living my life with having a good, outlook on everything and having a sense of humor and appreciating the things that I have. My life got better. But when I focused so much on trying to make myself better and all of that, it really, in my opinion, it did more damage to me than anything else. It was like I wasn't even enjoying life because I was so much focusing on that person that I was becoming and trying to step into those shoes, and the gratitude all over the place and never letting those bad thoughts enter my mind. What is that? It's an old Twilight Zone. That's what I'm trying to say. There's an old Twilight Zone episode, and there's a little boy, and he doesn't allow anybody to have bad thoughts, and he'll send them into the field so they just like disappear. So that's what I keep thinking about this, is that they're wanting your old personality to like disappear into the cornfield and get rid of it, because you can't have any bad thoughts. You got to be someone else. You got to be the person that MLM wants you to be. And in the example I'm using, the little boy becomes the MLM because it's everything that he says. He's like, have you seen that episode of the Twilight Zone? I don't remember what it's called, but it's really good. I love the Twilight Zone, by the way. It just popped into my head. Okay. So there, now you know.
Number 6, keep in mind that it's not enough to just notice how you've been feeling, how you've been thinking, and how you're behaving. This process that we tell ourselves, we have to face the shadows and drag them out into the light. You have to be willing to look at some of the mess, some of the parts of your personality that you don't like so much, and bring them up so that you're able to look at them and help them heal. And 7, think about what steps you would normally take when you're really serious about doing something differently. You're going to separate yourself from the external environment long enough to think about what to do and what not to do. You start to become aware of different aspects of your old self, and then you can start to plan and recreate this new being. And number 8 is just to repeat and repeat and repeat. I'm going to go here and look for any questions you guys have. I hope that was super helpful. I've got a little cheat sheet that has all the different steps for you guys, as well as my journal prompts. So I will send them over to you because I saw you guys all ferociously writing, so you guys can see those. I'm just going to quickly go to the chat and see if there is any questions at all. Any questions you guys have, post them up here and I will get to them. Thoughts are allowed to feels. Yes, yes, yes. Any questions? Any questions? There's a lot. Yes, body vibration. Okay, I don't see a tons of this. Yes. Okay, I don't see a tons of questions in there right now. Just everybody really wanting to get information on the cheat sheets and the journal prompts and things like that. I will get those to the other superstars and they can get them passed out to you. How does that sound? I will also get the recording of this over to the, also to the other superstars as well. You guys can all get started with a great meditation series that was just launched by Beachbody this week. That's a great way to start calming your mind down. I love the, what the heck's the app that I like? Insight app. It's a pretty good app that I like to use for meditations as well. So I hope that was really, really helpful for you guys. I know everybody else is going to be bringing the wham bam, thank you ma'am, and all the energy to really pump you guys up. But I thought that it would just be really helpful to tell you guys why it's so important to start switching your mindset. So hope you guys all have an amazing evening. Thanks so much for letting me serve you guys tonight, and I hope you have a fantastic week.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you were a new Beachbody coach, what would you have learned? What would you be doing? How is there anything that's tangible and actionable so that you can move the needle, move your business forward? It's all about how you've got to change and how you got to think. And I just go back to any training that I develop. If it looked like this, I would be laughed at. Okay, maybe not to my face, but let me tell you, my manager or any of my colleagues would be like, what's wrong with her? I mean, it's like I would never get the kind of job that I've had. There's no way that I could be a professional instructional designer and suggest any of this crap, because that's exactly what it is. This is not training. This is, and she said it at the very end, about to pump you up. It's all about that, getting you jazzed up and believing like, oh, just keep on going. That's all it is. It's just a big old bucket of hooey. I just go back to that, a bucket of hooey. Anyway, I would love to know what your thoughts are about this and how you would feel. And what would you think if, you took some training at your job and it was like this? Would you feel like, you had what you needed to move forward? I'm kind of thinking not. I really am. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Whatever. It's all engagement to me. Honestly, I really appreciate the time that you have spent with me, and I'll let you know what's going on with my leg and everything. And hopefully the video that I keep talking about it because of all this crazy research of this crazy cast of characters. I mean, there's just so much mayhem in this that when I finally get to it, I hope you do enjoy it, because I really think there are so many of these stories now that I'm getting into the international world of multi-level marketing. There are these stories of these top people that need to be told, so that, I think we really need to contrast that with the stuff that we've looked at, here on my channel and maybe on other channels too. So, let me know your thoughts about that. Let me know if you're excited to hear about some of these like international MLMers who are true scammers that have made millions and millions and millions of dollars. Anyway, have an excellent rest of your day. Thanks again for being here. You have no idea how much I appreciate you watching just one of my videos. It means the world to me. And remember, you're beautiful and I love you.